Hi everybody, this is Lara at pureelliottwave.com with a new cryptocurrency analysis for you, requested by a member. This is STX. I have not analysed this one before, so I'm going to start with a weekly chart with all the data that I can get from Yahoo Finance. This begins in 2019. Let's start the Elliott wave count from this low down here. I'll bring in an impulse because that's what this looks like it is, and we'll give it primary degree. And we'll start with, looks like this might be a 1, 2, might be a 3, 4 might be there. Yeah, 3 is a lot longer than 1. Let's put it right up on that high. Let's just quickly calculate the length of 3 to 1. 9.88 times the length of 1. Not a Fibonacci ratio, but pretty long. Not as long as it can be for some cryptocurrencies. Oh, and I'm feeling almost back to normal today. Omicron lasted 3-4 days. Just an annoying heat cold, really. So that was, it's not good, but it certainly wasn't bad. I'll take it. Okay. I'll draw a channel using Elliott's second technique. The fifth wave could be over here, but, oh, and it would be longer than the third. The third wave is 2.679311. The fifth wave is 3.108124. This is on a semi-log scale, so it doesn't look longer than the third, but it is in terms of price, and that's what we're looking for. But I don't think it would subdivide as a completed impulse. Okay, so there we are on the weekly. I still want a semi-log scale. Let's have a look at some of this detail. Let's go back and have a look at primary wave 1 on the daily chart and see how this will subdivide. I want to know if this will have good looking Elliott wave structures. If it does, then it can be part of an investment strategy, but if it doesn't, then it won't, obviously. And the only way to find out is to have a go. So let's have a go. I think I would. Okay, I'm just wondering if intermediate 1 could be a diagonal, but that just looks awful. I don't know if this is going to work. No, that doesn't work. The wavelengths are all wrong. It doesn't fit. Could it be a diagonal here? I'm going to expand this out so I can see what I'm working with here. No, that would have to be there, and that would have to be there. I'm looking at the wavelengths. 3 is 0.051, is longer than 1, which is 0.042. But 5 is shorter than 3 and 1, and 4 is shorter than 2. 3 should be shorter than 1, not longer than 1. But I have long wondered if there should be a slight rewriting of rules. No, that'll have to go here. No, 4 can't have a truncated C in there. I've long wondered if diagonal rules should be slightly rewritten to say sometimes the third wave can be the longest out of 1, 3 and 5, but I don't have enough research to rewrite those rules, or any rules yet. I'll stick with Elliott's rules as laid out in Frost and Prechter. What if we do this? 4 still overlaps 1 there. So 3 is longer than 1, but 5 is shorter than 3. This just isn't going to work. Well, not like that anyway. Okay, well, let's try this then. So I can't fit an impulse or a leading diagonal into this, so is it going to be a series of overlapping first and second waves? It could be. How would that work? Nope, let's put this here. because I can see a nice impulse in here. Excuse me, is that necessary, sir? They really like honking at each other here in Bogota. There's a lot of honking horns going on. A lot of really bad traffic. This looks like a nice little triangle. Yeah, that looks like a good impulse. Is this going to fit the third wave? That's the key. No, let's put this up here. Oh, is the middle going to fit though? I don't think so. Oh, could do. No, because this and this is a huge overlap. Oh, okay, I want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For this low is 0.118328 and this high here for 1.116, yeah. So I'm going to have to put this here, and I want this here, like this. Yeah. What a mess. Not ideal. Yeah, and I think I can see a 5 in here. I want to resolve the middle of this, and I think it can only be done by this. No, because now that's going to overlap there. Is there some kind of diagonal in here? Looks like there might be for the fifth wave. Yeah. Oh. Third wave is still the longest. No, that doesn't work because that's better. Third wave is still the longest. No, it's not. It's shorter. Oh, okay. There we go. That's resolved. A series of 1, 2, 3, 4 overlapping first and second waves. Well, here's the fifth one. And then we move into the third and fourth waves. In the fifth wave to end a first wave. That's possible. So that's primary 1. Possibly over there. Primary 2 looks like a double zigzag. I'll chuck some labels in real quick, but I want to spend more time on the impulses, particularly the third wave, and I don't think there is going to be any problem whatsoever about seeing this as a complete impulse for primary 3. Good strong blow off top there at the end of it, look at that. Only one day though. I'm used to seeing that behaviour for Bitcoin, but it usually does it for 3 to 4 weeks. I'm wanting to do this again. I think I want to see that over here. Maybe this here. The AC trend line's close to flat, but all the rules are met. I think I want to leave that there. That looks pretty good. Good alternation between a zigzag for intermediate 2 and a triangle for 4. And I have no problem here with the third wave. It's going to fit. Yeah, and that's probably where I'd want to put those. And here's the middle of it. Let's bring in MACD. Yeah, this has got strongest momentum. And within it, here's the end of the third wave. Here's the middle of it. Yeah. Up around here. Okay, I'm not going to worry about subdivisions there too much more. And I think this is possibly... No, I think it's a single zigzag. Either way, single or a double zigzag, that's going to fit. Okay. I see a series of big first and second waves, and you've got the third and fourth waves, little ones down in here. That looks normal. And a curved look for the impulse is normal. Okay. Can we see the fifth wave over? And I'd want to put this here. I think this is going to fit. Yeah. I think I want to put that there. I don't know if the first wave is going to fit. There's some diagonals in there. I think 3 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and maybe a fifth wave ending diagonal. I don't want to spend too much more time on that. I think there might be enough volume here to make this work. Is this an ending contracting diagonal? No, you have to put that there. And you have to put that there. No, it doesn't work. Oh, okay, I know what's happening. Possibly. I can't put this here and this here, because now there's an overlap. This works. What if we had this here and 2 is some kind of combination? Possibly. Then 3 and 4 don't have ideal proportion. Okay. This could be a triangle for intermediate 4. Let's do a quick alternate for that. We'll base it off this first one. So this could be a triangle. Okay, oh nice AC trend line. Coming down for the final wave for E, and then an upward breakout. Intermediate 4 may not move into intermediate wave 1 price territory. While price remains above this point, it's entirely likely the bull market for this currency is continuing. But if their first idea is invalidated with a new low below 1.475994, then I would label an impulse over at the all-time high, and I'd label that cycle 1, and I'd expect a cycle degree second wave. A bear market is underway. The minimum target for support would be 1.407, but a more likely range would be from 80 to 90% the length of cycle 1, so that's 0.75809 to 0.4015. Let's take a look at classic analysis. Yahoo Finance have a spike here, but here stock charts have this as the high. I don't know why those two data sets are different. This is the same market. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that at this point in time. For both of them, price is consolidating with good resistance about 2.6 and really strong, well-tested support about 1.8. This previous upward trend reached very extreme. ADX reached above FIT 50 and remained above the DX lines from back here. And price continued on up to this high. RSI reached overbought, exhibited bearish divergence. I haven't put it on this chart, but there's some bearish divergence here and not there. But what about this high? Was there more bearish divergence? Yeah, back to here there was. Now RSI is almost perfectly neutral. Plenty of room for a trend to develop in either direction. Is the breakout going to be up or down? From a classic analysis point of view, you need to wait for a breakout above resistance or below support. Elliott wave gives that structure. Volume declined at the last rise. We see this vertical spike of 2 days only. Some consolidation, then the final shorter spike. Shorter when looked at on a semi-log or log scale anyway. Volume declined at the high, up to this high. Some consolidation with light volume and then another spike up to the end. This volume also lighter than this volume. So it's unsurprising we're getting some more consolidation. Strong upward volume here. Volume within this consolidation is strongest on this upward session. Might be a little bit more buying pressure. Suggesting possibly an upward breakout more likely. That little trick doesn't always work though. On balance, volume is in a range, no signal here. As price falls here, the first downward swing within the consolidation, volume declines. We get down to the low here on declining volume. A little bit of an increase in volume for this upward session suggests that the downward swing may be over. We get an upward swing. Volume supports it here. These two pullbacks, volume slightly declines. A little bit more upward movement, and now declining volume at the end of this upward movement. So that was the end of that upward swing, didn't quite reach up to resistance, and now a downward swing starts with volume pushing price lower. Counter trend movement in this short little downward trend or downward swing comes with weak volume, and now price falls and volume declines. That's the end of the swing. That pattern seems to be repeated. Now we see an upward swing but an overshoot of resistance, price closing above it but bearish upper wicks, and then price closes back in. Downward movement, volume pushing price lower, reaches support on this day here with strong volume, so the volume profile isn't perfectly consistent. A little upward bounce, declining volume, it's short-lived, downward movement, increase in volume, down to the end. Don't see strength off this low. We see an upward swing beginning here though. A little bit of an increase in volume on the second session though. Downward movement, declining volume. Now upward movement with some push from volume. Back to that pattern that we saw back in here within this swing. So given that, what's happening now? This downward swing started with volume pushing price lower and ended with volume declining. So it looks like this downward swing is over. Here's an upward swing, reached resistance. Looks like this one here. And now we see quite a strong red candlestick. If this candlestick closes green and has increased volume from the prior candlestick, I'd expect another test of resistance, given that history of the volume profile in this sideways movement. ADX is too low to indicate a trend. It's been quite low and the DX lines are whipsawing during this consolidation. That's normal. RSI neutral, stochastics neutral. ATR declining as price moves sideways, showing a little bit of an increase as price moves higher up here. The situation just isn't clear from a classic analysis point of view. You need to wait for a break above resistance or below support, and the Elliott wave analysis is giving that structure. Below support, 1.475994, bearish. Above resistance, we will want to see a new high above this point, and that would be a solid enough break above resistance from an Elliott wave point of view. Minor E of this triangle may not move beyond the end of C, so a new low below 1.786988 by any amount at any time frame would reduce the probability of this wave count. You'd then have to relabel primary 4 as some kind of combination, which could fit, and that's the problem with triangles. They just don't always turn out to be triangles. Sometimes even right at the end they morph into what turns out to be a double combination. So you've got to be open to that. But At this point, the triangle looks so good and the trend lines are so well tested. I think we're probably going to see a triangle complete here and then an upward breakout. But if we see a new low below 1.786988, I'd put more weight on this analysis, a more bearish Elliott wave count. But if we see a new high above 2.636223, then I'd put more weight on this Elliott wave count, looking at an upward breakout following the triangle. Okay, that's all from me with stacks analysis for you, and I hope everyone's having a great day.